the minute differences between Germany and the US, it's just like most of life is fairly similar. It's not that like living here is not like a shock by any means, you know? It's just these weird small things where it's just like, what? Like stuff like that is very funny.
I was in New York one time too, and there was like two shocking things, which are really small ones.
But I was
like, first of all, it was like a chlor in the water.
Yeah, the chlorine.
Chlorine. I was like, what the fuck? And I don't like to drink it. I had the feeling like I'm drinking out of a swimming pool.
Interesting. We'll see that too. For me in Germany, it's because here it has such high calcium buildup. Yeah. I hate it. So the tap water here, I really hate. But that's why I bought the filter on my thing to filter out the calcium.
I think it's not calcium, it's calc. It's
I think it might be the same thing.
No, I think there's a small difference. I think calcium is a mineral and calc too, but calc is more like the.
Does calc have calcium in it? I think it does, but
I have no idea.
Anyway,
I know what you mean, but that's really regional specific.
Is weird.
I know. I really hate it too.
That's why I feel like I had to buy the filter on my faucet because I was like, I can't drink this stuff anymore. It's like it's driving me. So that's interesting. Yeah, very different.
That's cool. That's nice to know. And then, like the free drinks over there, that was so cool.
The lack of free drinks in Germany drives me insane. Bro, why? Why do you have to pay for water at every restaurant? Oh my word. Like, I just feel like any restaurant that would just offer free drinks here would immediately become the most popular restaurant. Why don't any restaurants do this?
I have no idea why.
It's like they have this like monopoly agreed to not give free water to anyone. Let's not give them free water.
Actually, I think there is a law in Germany which nobody really care about that you have to serve free water. So you
there's
have
a law and no one does it.
Yeah, I think if somebody, it's not to serve. It's if somebody asks you in a restaurant, I want free water. You have to serve it, but I don't really know it.
Can I test this?
You can test it if you like, but look it up first. I think but it's a really old law. I just saw it in some.
Well, that's just purely ironic, considering nowhere gives free water.
Yeah, I think it's like 100 years old just for the person who travels that they have to. I think in south of Europe, it's really common that you could get like free water because it's really hot in the summer. And
genuinely, I think if you told like the fact it's so un-American to not give you free water, like the fact that I was so shocked that I didn't get free water here. I was like, what? You know, like that just blew my mind. I was like, that makes no sense.
I think they calculate in Germany totally different. In Germany, they calculate the water and they give you the food for free, more or less. They just I think if you go to a restaurant and just order food, they don't really earn that much. I think
interesting.
They really earn their money by the drinking stuff. Because
I mean, definitely in the US, I mean, it's sodas. It's like, you know, you people obviously love soda, so you're buying, you know, Mountain Dew or Pepsi or Coke or something. But yeah, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What was your experience of what was the perception of America growing up for you or for others versus like maybe how's it changed today? Because I feel like the perception about America has changed over the last like 10 or 15 years.
I imagine it bigger, like everything's bigger there, and like you have more space. The typical suburbs with the
fences and the yards.
Yes, and the yards in the front. Then the fully constructed houses. I think everything you build is just wood. You just
mostly
not in the not New York, but in general,
in the average suburban neighborhoods.
Yeah, I think that's different. Then how you actually approach the whole thing of a house. For example, the windows are totally different. The doors, different. I think we in Germany have like 3 layers of how to isolate the walls. So that
sound. Yeah, it is nice here. I do like the sound barriers here are very nice, which is interesting. One thing is how common the auto locking doors are here, which like my door just automatically locks and you don't turn the handle. Like, what?
I think that's a new thing.
Because to me, that's so weird. Like, why would you have a door that automatically what if you forget your keys?
Well, actually, that's really new because when I talked to my grandma, she told me that when she grew up, they don't lock the doors here. They had like every door was open. It was like countryside.
That makes sense. I think it's pretty common in the United States too. I mean, at night you might close your door, but during the day, it's like, you just leave it open.
I really like the idea because, it's just
exactly like in the common like suburban neighborhood in the U.S. It's like everyone knows each other in the neighborhood, so it's like you don't really who cares, and you'll probably have a camera or something like in your at your house. Okay, so it's like pretty straightforward. But and
I think
what did Germans think of America like as an idea?
As an idea,
like especially, and how has that changed?
The idea is like the American dream from rags to riches, and this whole stuff changed, in my opinion. That you have, or that I saw more poverty. So you, of course, if you have more capitalist like society, you kind of haven't it's how to say it.
Right. When you have, since it's so capitalist, you have the highs and you have the lows.
Yes, and it's more extreme.
It's more extreme, yeah.
That's stuff I learned to like in Germany, that we kind of have this it's not this
floor.
Like a floor, yes. So but especially there are like tons of the floor sounds good, but in Germany we kind of, in my opinion, started to build huge holes into the floor, because some persons or some members of the state who should ask for like I need housing, or like what's Unterstützung, like someone help from state, they don't do it because they say no, we're proud Germans, we don't need this. And then there on the other side are like groups who say just give me everything. And I talked to a social worker who studied social work, and she said our main thing we do is learn how to fill out forms that we could ask, or we could fill out the forms for other families so they could get the social benefits. On the other hand, for example, like I think it's like a really German thing that they don't want help, so they fill it out themselves, and then they in the end get worse results than other. It's really stupid. But,
no, that is interesting though. I mean, there's definitely a big difference there. Where are you at with like the perception, like on a positive or negative stance? Like was German more pro USA in the past, or less pro USA in the past?
I think Germany is always pro USA.
Yeah, like I guess like
we will like each other.
Has the positive sentiment increased or decreased over time?
I think it decreased for some reason.
I feel like that would be like my perception of the perception would be that it's become more negative over time, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really sad, because I think you have to differentiate between what the state or the government is doing, what the people who are living there are doing, and what
Americans,
and the general like cultural sentiment. I think a really bad thing was that this whole Snowden thing happened. So we kind of, I think huge amounts of Germans are really pissed that
like the data protection type of stuff,
and that the Americans just on one hand we know it all the
I mean it's kind of like the pillars. It's like the data protection, our love for war, and then then you have Trump, and then like this just the whole kind of like
I think
system here.
Trump is really negative in Germany. I think that's really
there's like the perceptions of Trump and the sentiment that he showed across for Europe. I mean, you're going to get all the headlines inevitably in Europe, which is going to happen. It's unavoidable.